Now let us all join our palms with reverence, and together we are inviting His Holiness to bestow the precious Dharma teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Cheng Kung, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, the yellow Jambala, and also the empowerment of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. And today we also send off the old planet ruler god and to invite and welcome the new planet ruler god. We pay homage to all of them. Simu, Danchen Katso, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of chapters and temples, all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are the Taipei rep to Norway and Sweden, Ambassador Dong Zhou Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy, accountant to True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, a PR director of the True Buddha School, Taiwan Leizhang Temple, Dharma Brother Fermi Wang, Good evening, everyone. How do you do? Greetings in Cantonese. Thank you for coming. We have talked about Jambala many times, but someone asked me, it's interesting, every time we practice Jambala, why is it that his right toe is always swollen? So even after practicing for so long, his toe is still painful? Because every time it's time to practice yellow Jambala, his feet would be painful. But how about normally? But that's the sadhana, the practice procedure. If we want to change it so that he's not painful, but that's the practice procedure. Someone said, he's very sympathetic toward Jambala. How come every time we do his practice, his feet is always painful? Grandmaster, do you have a way to make his toe not painful? But I said, this is the practice procedure. Whether it's painful or not, like in this world, it's like this. So this time in Seattle, something, the microphone's not close. We have a very widespread flu, if you did not feel any of the germs in your body, not even one germ had entered into your body, please raise your hand. Anyone without cold or flu at the Seattle temple? Anyone at the Seattle temple? That many of you? So your body is better than mine? So let me ask you, ever since birth until now, if you never catch cold, please raise your hand. From birth till now, raise your hand if you never catch any cold. Nobody dared to raise their hand, including Grandmaster. In the past, Grandmaster had some skin problem. I went to see a dermatologist. Went to see a dermatologist to get some treatment. And the doctor's name is Liao, Dr. Liao. I asked him, can my skin problem be cured? And Dr. Liao replied, yes. Then I asked again, but will it recur? And he said, yes. Then what use is the treatment? Because if you get it treated and then it recur again, why do I want to get treatment? I'm wasting money, right? I'll just let it be. And then he asked me, did you ever catch cold? And I said, yes. Did it get better? Yes. But will you get cold again? Yes. And Dr. Liao said, it's the same concept. So the pain at Yellow Jambala's toe, will it get better? Yeah. After we do the practice, it'll get better. But will he get the pain again? Yes. Can you count how many times you have caught cold all this life? Anyone has written it in your diary ever since you were young? It's uncountable. It's continual. So Jambala's right toe is painful. That's a small case. I'd rather be really wealthy with just a slight pain on my right toe. If I have to choose between being really rich and having some pain on my right toe or not, I would still choose to be rich and a little bit of pain on my right toe. That's a small case. So this is my simple answer to the question of that disciple. Everything will recur again. this time, during this flu season, people don't admit that they actually got the flu. And they would say that, oh, it's just jet lag. And Master Hui Jun, how many days after you got to the Seattle temple that you had to stay in bed? 3 days. Started to take medicine on Monday. It's not jet lag, right? See? She just said that that's a jet lag. So what kind of medicine do you take for jet lag? Did you catch cold? Yes. Both jet lag and cold. Let me ask PN now. Did you catch cold? Did you transmit it to me? When you had cold, you didn't wear the mask, right? You had cold for many days, but you only wore the mask for 1 day. Do you know that from the day when you had cold, I had the germs into my body and I'm still fighting it till today. You know, I'm not taking any medicine for it. I've said it, I just rely on alcohol. I use the alcohol to kill them. It got better for 1 week and it happened again. And I killed it again. It came again. I killed it again and it came back again. How long has it been since this flu season at the Seattle temple here? Nianqi. When did it start? When someone started. The January 1st performances started until now. Today's the 18th. Over half a month. Now, I like to ask you, but please be honest. Don't say that you just want to sleep, that you don't have any cold. Please sit down. If you've had cold and then you got some medicine and then now got better, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just 4? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Both in Taiwan and America, it's the high season for flu. And the germs this time, I heard it's very difficult to kill. It lasts a long time. So And thank you to the disciples who give me dozens of bottles of alcohol. Now I've got 3 dozens of alcohols. The Rainbow Temple alone had 2 dozens. They had stored from 20 years ago. I placed it at the Rainbow Temple, and altogether for about 2 dozens. And then disciples give here and there for a total about 1 dozen. So I have about 3 dozens now. 谁讲话？好吵。So my situation now is up and down. I felt it's better, and then it came back again, and up and down and up and down. Very stubborn germs, viruses and bacteria. Many family doctors said that the flu this time is a very high season. Many people got it, and it's very difficult to cure. The same with the one in Taiwan. Let's just see who wins. Grandmaster will definitely win, because Grandmaster uses alcohol. When my whole body becomes alcohol, then the germs cannot escape, and they will all be killed. I cannot say. The man asked the woman, if when I'm old and I get an Alzheimer, what can happen? The man asked the woman, and the woman said, that would be really nice, because every day you would see a different woman. Is this funny? Grandmaster has seen many different women recently, like eating. 3 months ago she came, and 3 months later when I see her, she's different. She's matured a lot. Her hair is different, her face is different. She's become beautiful. Now she's a young girl, a young lady, 14 years old. So that's different. The only thing that's the same is her hand is still very cold. There's a song called Your Tiny Cold Hand. You have to teach me this song, and I can sing it for her. Eating has changed to become beautiful. So she's lost the youth feeling, and she's become like a young ladies. How about Wang Ping? How about Fermi Wang? Where's your son? Wang Ping.
啊？哦，他在外面。
He's outside.
那个今天吃完晚餐走出来，看到王平。
When I got out from dinner and I saw Wang Ping and he called on me and I turned around and who's this tall guy? This skinny and tall guy. Who is this? And when I looked carefully, it turned out to be Wang Ping. He's taller than I am. How old is Wang Ping now? The same as Yi Ting. Also 14. 14? My true age is 13. Okay, 13. You're so tall. And you look good. They're at the same school. And he joined the competition for the school prince, and you registered to join the competition for the school princess. Oh, for the cover for the school magazine. Did you get on it? No, none of the two of you. Your school has no eyes. Really? Because the senior students got on it. Because this is Golden Boy and Jade Girl. Very good. You'll be fine in the future. Now let's expound on Lamdre. This is the classification of protections divided into falling into the side of methods and hindrances of protecting oneself to fall into the wisdom side and falling into both methods and wisdom sides. There are many titles and the explanations at the back. We will not read that. Here are the instructions on the protecting from the hindrances of falling into methods or wisdom sides on the yogic path. It includes 8 kinds of protections for the 4 hindrances for yogi falling into the method side, 8 kinds of protections for the 4 hindrances for yogi falling into the wisdom side, and the 14 kinds of protections common to both yogis, altogether for a total of 30 kinds of protections. 30. Now let's talk about the falling into the side of methods, which is divided into hindrances by who, what hindrances, when, the hindrances on what, and protection on what. The verse stated the hindrances of falling into the method side on a yogi path. This includes 5 things: hindrances by who, what hindrances, when, hindrances, hindrances on what, and protection on what. It will be explained later. So hindrances by who? Those who fall into the method side are divided into two kinds: falling into faithful actions and falling into spiritual experiences. And falling into the faithful actions, this is the blind faith toward the external forms, etc., of the methods, Dharma practices, and actions that increase the marvels of papancha, which is the senseless concepts or any concepts that result in a rebirth. And second, falling into the meditation with spiritual experiences. Albeit one practices the part on emptiness, but his spiritual experiences arise to the appearance of bliss, clear light, seeing the body of the yidam, etc. Anyone can explain this? Any masters? Anyone can explain it? Dharma masters? Dharma teachers? Dansen Katso. Here it talks about hindrances due to faithful actions and spiritual experiences. What kind of hindrances are they? Please be seated. You've said a part. Any actions that increase the marvels of senseless concepts that result in a rebirth. In the journey of spiritual cultivation, anything that's not the right thoughts, anything that belongs to the papancha, which is concepts that result in a rebirth. Actually, in this Saha world, we are just playing a game. Anything that is part of the game, that you're just playing a game. We are all part of a game. All the games of the daily lives are not considered the right thought. And this will add to the harms or hindrances. For example, we have many kids playing games these days. They go to school. As soon as they get home, they would play games. Whenever they have time, they would play games until they become totally obsessed. And then they become isolationists. They don't go to school. They don't study. They don't listen to the parents or seniors, and they don't eat. And they isolate themselves. Many kids are like this because they are obsessed with the game. It's possible in spiritual cultivation that you become like this too. If you are obsessed by everything in this world, which is just a game, and you cannot transform it, you cannot detach from it, then you become isolationist or depressed or hallucination or become mentally abnormal. So this is the confusion that Danchen Kacho was talking about. So they don't increase the clear light radiance of spiritual cultivation. Instead, they fall into the delusion of bewilderment. Many people likes to have afternoon tea. Several friends together for what? To gossip, to exercise the mouth. So, when several people having afternoon tea, then they exercise their mouth and they talk about this and that, true and false. So this is to increase the marvels of the world. So you have the improper thoughts inside you. So that's why I always recommend, don't chat, don't talk too much, but chant more. Chant the Buddha's name more. Whenever you have time, just chant. Whatever you do, just chant. I have this habit. If someone say good morning, I would reply Amitofo. Amitofo is the same as good morning. When you meet each other, you say Amitofo. Then you chant one more time. And in the afternoon, you also say Amitofo. At night, you also say Amitofo. So you chant more. In Japanese, when you say good morning, in Taiwanese, it sounded like looking for the husband. And the afternoon is like you have the husband. And then at night, you change your husband. So what I said in Taiwanese, 早安,午安,晚安, about husbands, this is called senseless talks and concepts. So it's best if you just chant Amitabha. That would be good when you see each other. That's my habit. Amitofo. And before you part, you also say Amitofo. So you chant Amitabha. You recite the mantra instead of chatting. So that's falling into marvel actions. Second, falling into meditation with spiritual experiences. Although one practices the part of emptiness, but his spiritual experiences that arise to the appearance of bliss, clear light, seeing the body of the yidam, etc., is also a kind of hindrances. Bliss, of course, is a good spiritual experience. Seeing clear light, or when you look inside your body, there's clear light. When you look outside, there's clear light. That's the clear light. Or you see the body of the yidam, or you see the yidam. That's very good. And then you can forget it, and you always want to see the yidam, then that would generate hindrances. Because after you experience the bliss, and you cannot let it go and you cannot progress, then there would be a hindrance on the spiritual experience. I have said it before, if you have seen the clear light and you always want to see it, and you just stay fixated on the clear light, you cannot progress. Like Grandmaster has seen the Amitabha Yidam, Medicine Buddha Yidam, Avalokiteswara Bodhisattva, I have seen her too, Golden Mother, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, Amitabha Buddha, Medicine Tathagata. I have seen many Yidams. And just now, I saw Jambala, Ganapati, the red Jambala, the yellow Jambala. I saw them. But I'm not attached to whether seeing it or not. It's okay if I don't see it. I'm all the same, following the procedures, following the rules to cultivate spiritually. Don't think because you see it, then you become stagnant and you don't progress, and that becomes a hindrance. Of course, Grandmaster has the spiritual sensation of bliss. Grandmaster practice the non-leaking, never leaked. But from this non-leaking, you can still feel the sensation of bliss inside. It's an excellent spiritual experience. However, in order to make progress, you have to enter into clear light. And from the clear light, you enter and see the Yidam. And from seeing the Yidam, you would be able to see the Pure Land. And after seeing the Pure Land, you progress further. So spiritual cultivation, you continue to move on, to progress. And ultimately, you are one with the universe. And that is called the solid, the soul brightness or radiance. The soul radiance, brightness, radiance, brilliance. There is a sutra called the Sutra of Entering into Samadhi. Anyone that has read the sutra? Anyone? Nia Wang has not? Okay, I've read one more than yours, than you. The Sutra of Entering into Samadhi, the ultimate goal is for the soul brilliance. That's the ultimate attainment. But in my opinion, it's not the highest. In Tantrayana, at least you have to go to the 13th ground, which is the realm of Vairocana Buddhas. And that is called the radiance, omnipresent radiance. But in the Sutra of Entering into Samadhi, it's only to the soul radiance. But Vairocana Buddha is the radiance, omnipresent radiance. on the 13th ground.
我们再谈到合障障碍。
Next is what hindrances. Hindrances on the worldly Dharma practices, outside demons, increase of demonic power, and not recognizing the start of affinity.
他这后面还有解释，后面还有解释。
And the explanation at the back. And when hindrances during the initial period of entering onto the path, called the initial accumulation. Hindrances during the stay on the path. Hindrances when the mind is somewhat stable, referred as the middle accumulation extent. And hindrances when the mind is greatly stable. Hindrances on what? Hindrances on the methods of transforming a notion. Hindrances on the methods of declining resources. Hindrances on the methods of suffering arising in the body and mind. Hindrances on the methods of not recognizing meditation. And the explanation at the back. And we'll talk about the explanation tomorrow. WeChat, which belong to PRC. Someone got on and said, "Hey lady, what are you doing? I don't know anything about computer." But someone all of a sudden got on you. Like, does this happen? Like, you're on the computer and all of a sudden something came on and strike a conversation and ask, "Hey lady, what do you do?" And she replied, "Oh, I work at night." And he asks, "Where? Can I come and support you?" And she replied, "Most people don't want to. It's quite expensive. It's over $1,000 a day. So if that's US dollars, that's very expensive. And if it's renminbi, over $1,000 also expensive. But for NT dollars, it's no big deal. For $1,000, not so much. If it's Indonesian rupiah, that's really worthless. So it's over $1,000 a night." So when he heard that, he said, "Yeah, it's expensive. However, it's a small case for me. Small case. Let me know your address. I'll go right now." And then the lady replied, "This hospital's emergency room. Now I'm waiting for you." So she works at an emergency room of a hospital on a night shift.
时候啊，这世界上还是有很多无聊的。
So sometimes in this world there are lots of
我觉得
nonsense.
比较这一本道果写的
But this Lamdre of Tantrayana,
非常的深，
it's very detailed and very deep.
真的是。如果我以前很早以前我就
If
的话，
long ago,
不想修密教。
if long ago I read Lamdre, I wouldn't want to study Tantric Buddhism.
我以为说学佛很简单，
It's so superfluous.
到最后那时候学净土宗只知道持名念佛，我就持他的名嘛。
So when I studied Pure Land, I just know to chant Amitabha Buddha's epithet, and I don't even need to visualize.
加观想，
But now
佛如也，
I want to add the visualization because you have affinity with the Buddha.
第一个你跟佛有缘，而你自己我们也知道，我们自己本身就是有佛性在里面。
And we know that we have Buddha nature inside us.
行就是把自己的心
And spiritual cultivation is to change our habits, our habitual tendencies,
污秽给它清除了，
and to clear all the contaminants on us, to have pure body, speech, and mind. Once your body, speech, and mind are purified,
佛性它自然
then your Buddha nature will naturally appear.
是到净土，而且可以成佛。
Not only going to the Pure Land, you can attain Buddhahood.
像道果这都
So Buddhist training is so simple, not like Lamdre, which is very long-winded and complicated.
反而没有障碍。
You don't have obstructions if you don't read it. But if you read it, then you start having hindrances, and you find that practicing tantric dharma is extremely difficult.
当然也有好处了，
Of course, there's also benefits.
每天做结界，
Every day I do protection.
做实时
I bestow food upon lower beings. Then you increase your merits and good fortunes. You don't need to pray to the wealth deities.
这个
Grandmaster every day
啊，虽然是小钱，
with all money coming home.
算了，
Although it's small change,
是开始
at first I thought
时候啊，
every time when you ask me to teach Dharma, you can just present Hatha, it's fine. It turns out now you're becoming more polite, more ethical, then you will bring a little bit of red envelope for Grandmaster.
小意思，
It's just
但是也是 Om Mani 可以用啊。
small case. It's a trifle, but it's still money coming home. At least there's something,
有补总比没有补好，
and it's better than nothing.
我也就算了。
So I'll just let it be.
不要收你们这些毛毛雨，
I was going to
西亚
stop,
不收毛毛雨，
but if
收吗？
this drizzles, if you don't even get the small drizzles, then you don't get anything at all here in Seattle.
我在台湾的时候啊，
Then no money coming home. It's really bad here in Seattle, in Taiwan, but let's not talk about the past.
毛毛雨也好，
It's fine, even the small drizzles.
也不算是障碍。
This is not considered hindrances.
像我们这样子啊，这平安其实就是福。
Actually, safety or the healthy and safe body, that's already good fortune.
修个法，
And happiness
学了密
Every day we chant the Buddha, do a Dharma practice, and there's benefit in learning Tantric Dharma. You know how to do protection, to make offerings, to bestow offering to the lower realms. When you know to make offering, then your good fortune will increase more and more. Frankly speaking, if I were to be a human being in my future life, if in my next life I were to be a human being, my good fortune, my merits and good fortune will be innumerable, uncountable. I would be richer than Bill Gates. Because I know to give. If you want to be a human being, you would be remarkable in your future. If you stand on a hill, on a mountain, all the land would be yours as far as you can see. Or you climb to Mount Tai San, and all the lands as far as you can see belong to you. So, if you know how to give or to bestow to the spirit's world, then you would have such good fortune. Everything that I have, every time I eat, I would give away. You can make offering of everything. All the precious gems and any items can be made as offerings. That's just remarkable. One can become thousands, and thousands can become millions. All different millions kinds, and your riches would be incredible if you know to transform your offerings and givings. Then your great fortune would become infinite. So Tantric Dharma practices is still beneficial, even just this, if you master it. In our daily lives, when we eat, you also give, make offerings. The place we live is the palace. You can transform it to become a palace, like a royal palace. The clothes that we wear is the same as doing protection, armor protection. You take the clothes and you chant Om Burlanjali. That's doing protection. When you wear the clothes, all the maras, all the demons cannot invade you. The place you live is the palace. Your transportation, or you walk. When you walk, that's the same as spiritual cultivation. It's walking on the spiritual cultivation path. So whatever you do every day, that's all spiritual cultivation. You already apply and merge spiritual cultivation into your everyday life. So you apply the Buddha Dharma into the everyday life. Then it would be very easy to do. Everything you do is Buddha Dharma. None otherwise. So even when you're on the toilet, when you sit on the toilet, that's also Buddha Dharma. When you sit on the toilet, is that Buddha Dharma? Yes. What visualization do you do? You make offering of what you release to the ghost and the 3 lower realms. That's right. So please say what kind of visualization you do. Let me ask you, can you make that thing an offering to the Buddha? Yes. Can you offer it to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dharmapalas, Dakinis, and all the heavenly gods? If you already have attainment, as long as you have the faith, then you can make the offering. Please be seated. What you said was not wrong. If you have the faith that you're already pure, you make offering of everything of your body to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, including your poop. Including your poop and pee can be offered to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dharmapalas, Dakinis, including the 6 rebirth beings in the 6 rebirth realms. As long as you have the faith, then you can do it. And this is also considered a great offering. A huge offering. Although you don't have anything, but when you go to the bathroom, that's also a kind of offering. So according to the Tantric Buddhist practices, when you go to the bathroom, you visualize the ground split up, and the thing that you relieve is offered to the 3 lower realms, the hungry ghosts, happy hell beings, and animals. Look at the flies. The flies love it. I've told this joke before. The fly kid and his mom are eating, and the kid asks mom, "Why do we always eat such dirty, filthy food?" And the mom said, "Come on, don't talk dirty when we eat, because they're eating the poop." When the flies, mom and son, are eating the poop, why are we eating such dirty stuff like poop? But the mom said, "Come on, when you eat, don't talk dirty." That's a joke. But there are many animals that still eat that thing. That's a food chain. In the ancient time, when we don't have fertilizers, they use that thing as fertilizers. And then we eat the thing that they produce, the vegetables, the grains that were produced by that thing. So it's called the food chain. So Japanese are very smart. They invented this practice of drinking your pee. Things inside the pee are still very tonifying to the yin and yang. There are some illnesses that can be cured by drinking pee or urine. Is it popular to eat poop in Japan? There's a doctor who suggested it. because that thing still has a lot of nourishments, a lot of nutrients in
那
it.
只要把那个味道把它去除，
If you
一
eliminate
个醋味道把它
the smell
去除来以后，再
through a certain process,
把它包起来，
and then you wrap it and deep fry it,
再去油炸，再煮再吃，
and then you eat it
那
again.
比哈豆还好吃啊，
It's tastier than hot dog.
味道更好啊。
It would be tastier.
有一天哦，真的是可以吃的，真的。
One day you truly can eat it.
我是在讲
What was I talking about?
讲稻果，
Talking about
事实上，
tantric practices and Lamdre.
你学了密教以
But
后，
in reality, once you studied tantric
真的
Buddhism,
知识智慧，真的
then your knowledge and wisdom will be enhanced greatly.
知识智慧
Your knowledge, your wisdom will increase.
光明，
Your clear light radiance
光明到了
will appear more and more. When you reach a score of 10, it'll be the same as the Buddha and can merge together. And in the future, you can also reach the omnipresent radiance. That's most important. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.